Welcome to Fort Charlotte.
Wow,
This is the historical fort. This was built in anticipation of a French invasion.
Stand, Jermaine. Stand. All right.
Fort Charlotte was built in 1787, completed 1789. The fort was built in anticipation of a French invasion, but the French, they never showed up. The bridge that you just came across at one time, this was a drawbridge. You can tell by the groove marks on both sides of that wall. Below that bridge, it's a dry mouth, never intended for water, so they planted quick repairs to make it difficult for an attacking enemy. I guess they want to get the point across. If they're walking underneath here, this is a bomb-proof shelter. The holes that you see on both sides of the wall, these are ventilation. Today, we call it air conditioned. Air conditioned. It is the best spot during the summer. Now let's take a look at this inscription here. This inscription is of a wooden ship. It was carved out by A. Bartlett. He was one of the British soldiers in the 1850s. This reflected the life that the soldiers had, where they saw no action, had nothing to do. They made many inscriptions on the wall. These empty barrels, these are all with what you have. These are all where they will store your water. Ooh. Remember, this fort here, this was just one big limestone rock that the soldiers they made here. They hand carved, they chipped out, and they designed it in 2 years. Now it took 136 of them to build down here in the lower chambers, but during their stay, many of them died. The soldiers died because they had poor ventilation area, not enough room for breathing, mosquito bites. They got sick from malaria. Watch your step coming over. This hole that you saw as you came down, this wasn't an escape hole. Now that hole was their only ventilation hole that they had. They slept in rooms like these. They call it their sleeping quarters or their cell. Each room had slept up to 40 soldiers. This room is where they stored the ammunition. A few soldiers would have slept in that ammunition room as well, but it was less than 40. Watch your step as you come on down. 2 steps right here, and there's the next 2 steps right here. The guy standing here in the corner, this is how the chief soldier look. Now these empty barrels, these are all where they would have stored gunpowder. Remember the bigger barrels, they stored gunpowder. In the smaller barrels, they would have stored water. What the soldiers did back then for a piece of land, they drank a little whiskey. Today we call it rum. Here's the type of jar that they bring their whiskey from. These are the mugs that they use. Here, it's a little game that they play. Now that game is called Mancala. It's an old African game. They play with beads, stones, or marbles.
You play that a lot, Luke.
Yeah, that means you're good in maths. Here's the point where we're at. You see how close the water shoreline was? That road right below us that they call Bay Street, back then that was water. From Bay Street go back, it was man-made. When they dredge the harbor out from where the cruise ships are, they fill it in. That's how they made our Lockheed there. We call it the fish fry. Likewise, the shopping area of downtown Bay Street. So those cannons that they would have used, they would have ranged up to 1.25 miles. The cannonball, they weigh up to 32 pounds, seeing that the water shoreline was so close. Okay?
Do you see that person? When? I didn't see that. So these smaller ones must be water. And there's luring Dunmore. Oh, the light wasn't on when we walked by this. That's why we didn't see it. Go that way?